Part 1 begins inside a vast combat arena on the harsh world of Carvos Prime, a place feared across the galaxy because it is not meant for learning but for survival, where only the strongest species are expected to stand and the weak are meant to fall. The arena floats above the ground on heavy metal platforms held by ancient gravity engines, while a red sun burns overhead and thousands of alien warriors watch from every side, their claws, fangs, and armored bodies showing that this academy belongs to predators. Into this brutal place steps a single human cadet named Mara Cade, small compared to the others, without natural armor, claws, or fangs, wearing only a simple combat suit and carrying the quiet focus of someone who has already seen war. The aliens see her size and shape and decide she does not belong, and their laughter fills the arena before the fight even begins. Facing her is Alpha Verkith, the strongest warrior of the Drake Thul, a massive being covered in natural armor plates with horns, glowing eyes, and a long history of killing enemies twice as strong as most soldiers. He laughs openly at Mara, seeing her as nothing more than a mistake made by careless instructors, and the crowd joins him, certain that this fight will end quickly and painfully for the human. Mara does not react to the mockery because she has heard it all before, back when humans were first attacked by the Dominion and were called weak, soft, and unworthy of survival. Inside her mind are memories of Earth under fire, of cities burning from orbit, of people screaming and dying, and of her brother who never returned from the first invasion. And these memories do not make her afraid, but instead harden her resolve. A drone announces the rules of the trial, making it clear that there will be no mercy, only surrender or death. And the Alpha promises to break her with ease, believing his strength alone will decide the outcome. When the signal to begin is given, Verkith charges forward with overwhelming force, his massive body shaking the platform as he moves like a living weapon. And the alien crowd watches eagerly, expecting to see the human crushed in seconds. Mara moves with speed and precision instead of panic, avoiding the first deadly strike by shifting sideways and rolling beneath his attack, showing that she is not frozen by fear. Verkith continues to attack, amused by what he sees as desperate movement, trying to grab her and end the fight quickly. But his confidence blinds him to a key truth about humans, which is that they study their enemies carefully. Human forces learned long ago that they could not win by strength alone, so they learned anatomy, weaknesses, and pressure points, and Mara carries that knowledge into this fight. As Verkith moves close, thinking victory is already his, Mara plants her foot firmly and delivers a single, focused kick into a narrow gap beneath his armor where scans had shown a weak connection in his spine, a place no Dragthol believed a human could reach or strike with enough force. The impact is sudden and brutal, creating a sharp sound like metal snapping, and in that instant the Alpha's laughter stops completely as his body locks up and collapses under its own weight. The massive warrior crashes onto the platform, unable to move, his dominance shattered by one precise human strike. The arena falls silent as thousands of alien spectators struggle to understand what they have just seen, because this moment breaks everything they believed about humans. Mara steps back, breathing hard but standing firm, not celebrating, only surviving, as the drone declares the trial finished. Though the fight lasts only seconds, its meaning spreads far beyond the arena, because recordings of the battle begin to move across the galaxy, reaching military leaders, soldiers, and rulers who all witness the same shocking truth. A species once mocked as weak has defeated an alpha warrior in open combat, not through luck or raw power, but through calm thinking, discipline, and precise action. Part 1 ends with the understanding that this moment is not just a victory for one cadet, but the beginning of a larger shift in the balance of power, as the galaxy starts to realize that humans are no longer victims or outsiders, but a force that cannot be ignored, underestimated, or laughed at again. Part 2 of the story begins with the aftermath of Maracade's incredible victory over Alpha Verkith, a moment that has already started to ripple across the galaxy. While the arena fight was intended to be a small trial, it became a symbol, proof that humans cannot be dismissed as weak or defenseless. Mara herself becomes more than a cadet. She becomes a beacon of hope and determination for humanity, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, courage and intelligence can turn the tide. The Dominion, the alien forces that have long pushed humanity to the edge of extinction, initially dismiss her victory as a fluke or a trick, unable to believe that a single human could best one of their most powerful warriors. However, the disbelief quickly turns to fear as human forces begin to show their true capabilities. Humanity's fleets are small and their ships look fragile compared to the massive war vessels of the Dominion, but they fight in ways that no alien expects. They use strategy over brute force, turning weaknesses in the enemy formations to their advantage and striking from angles that larger, stronger ships cannot match. At the Battle of the Shattered Belt, 3 human cruisers face 12 Dominion destroyers, and the aliens are confident of an easy victory, mocking the humans just as Alpha Verkith mocked Mara. But the humans employ clever tactics. They drift silently among dense asteroid fields, shutting down engines and hiding where sensors cannot detect them. When the Dominion ships advance, human forces strike suddenly, setting off mines and attacking with precision railgun fire that cripples the enemy before they even understand what is happening. Boarding teams move through small vents and corridors, using agility and knowledge of enemy biology to take down creatures far larger and stronger than themselves. Mara is actively involved in these operations, not merely as a symbol but as a skilled fighter and leader. She moves with determination and precision, often putting herself in the most dangerous positions, showing that humans rely on more than physical strength. They rely on ingenuity, training, and willpower. Despite these successes, the Dominion refuses to concede, gathering their strongest fleets and setting a direct course for Earth, the heart of human civilization. This signals the most dangerous moment yet. Humanity faces its final stand, and the survival of their homeworld hangs in the balance. Mara, now a seasoned cadet and warrior, prepares for the battle ahead aboard the carrier Resolute Dawn, surrounded by human commanders and soldiers who are ready to fight against seemingly insurmountable odds. She knows the fleet is outnumbered and outgunned, but she also knows that humans have survived before against forces that seemed unstoppable. The humans' fighting style is creative and daring, leveraging knowledge, speed, and strategy to offset their smaller numbers and weaker armor. Space becomes a chaotic battlefield of light and fire as the Dominion fleet engages. With lasers cutting through the void, missiles streaking across darkness, and ships exploding into spinning wrecks of metal and flame. Human pilots dart in and out of impossible spaces, exploiting weaknesses in alien formations and daring maneuvers that most alien species would never attempt. Mara leads boarding teams into the heart of the enemy fleet, fighting her way through corridors filled with smoke, fire, and screaming enemies. She faces creatures much larger and stronger than herself, using every part of her training to survive and strike effectively. Her movements are precise, each step and attack calculated to maximize impact despite the danger. Human teams plant charges and disrupt key systems, dismantling the Dominion fleet from within while others fight in space above them, creating chaos and confusion among alien forces. The humans endure losses, but they are minimal compared to the devastation they inflict, proving that courage, coordination, and tactical thinking can overcome overwhelming power. Mara herself experiences both physical and emotional struggle, facing fear, pain, and exhaustion, yet continuing to push forward because the survival of Earth depends on her actions. Her leadership and determination inspire her fellow humans, showing that humans possess qualities that aliens cannot easily measure: resilience, creativity, and the will to fight even when the odds are stacked impossibly against them. As Mara's boarding team reaches the command core of a Dominion flagship, they plant charges to destroy the ship and force the remaining enemy forces to hesitate. The flagship explodes in a controlled detonation, a massive bloom of light that signals to the Dominion fleet that humans are capable of inflicting irreparable damage even against overwhelming numbers. For the first time, the aliens hesitate, uncertain how to proceed when faced with human ingenuity and fearless action. This hesitation is not just a tactical pause. It is the beginning of a psychological shift across the Dominion, as they realize that humans cannot be easily dismissed or defeated. Part 2 emphasizes that humanity's strength is not in size, armor, or raw power, but in intelligence, strategy, and relentless courage. Mara Cade embodies this truth, showing that a single determined individual, when combined with skilled and disciplined human forces, can challenge even the most dominant species in the galaxy. The story conveys intense moments of suspense, danger, and personal struggle, highlighting both the physical and mental challenges of war. It also explores themes of perseverance, the importance of clever thinking, and the way humans can adapt and survive against seemingly unbeatable enemies. By the end of Part 2, the stage is set for the climactic final confrontation. The Dominion has been forced to reconsider its strategy. Humans have demonstrated they can win against impossible odds, and Mara has established herself as a central figure in the fight for Earth, ready to face the ultimate challenge that could decide the fate of her planet and her species. Part 3 begins with the looming threat of the Dominion's final strike against Earth, a massive war station the size of a moon, built to obliterate the planet and end humanity once and for all. Despite the victories humans have achieved, this ultimate weapon represents the highest stakes they have ever faced, a threat that dwarfs anything Mara Cade and her fleet have encountered before. Humanity knows that brute force alone will not be enough to stop it. Clever strategy, daring action, and personal courage will be the key to survival. Mara volunteers for the most dangerous mission without hesitation, fully aware that it may cost her life because the survival of her world cannot depend on anyone else. She boards the war station with a small, elite team, moving through corridors where gravity shifts unpredictably and the walls pulse with alien energy. The station is alive with Dominion defenders, creatures bred for combat and trained for years, far larger and stronger than humans. Mara fights through them with determination and skill, using her agility, knowledge of anatomy, and precise strikes to overcome enemies that seem impossible to defeat. Every step forward is met with deadly resistance. Blasts of energy, swinging weapons, and the raw power of alien bodies threaten to end her mission at every moment. Mara is struck and thrown against walls, burns herself on exposed energy conduits, and bleeds from wounds that would have killed lesser fighters, yet she continues, driven by the vision of Earth and humanity surviving the Dominion threat. As she approaches the core of the war station, she confronts the last Dominion commander, another towering alpha whose power and experience are legendary among their kind. He mocks her, repeating the old taunts about human weakness, confident that she is no match for his strength. Mara responds not with words but with calm determination, remembering every battle she has fought and every hardship humanity has endured. The fight that follows is brutal, testing her physical limits and mental focus. She is thrown, slammed, and forced to fight through intense pain, but she adapts with each strike, using her knowledge of the enemy's body and weaknesses to land precise, devastating blows. The final moment comes when the Alpha raises a massive weapon, intending to finish her and end humanity's hope in one blow. Mara, with everything she has learned and endured, delivers a perfect, single kick to a weak point in the Alpha's body, just as she did with Virkith, showing that human precision and courage can overcome brute force, no matter the size or power of the opponent. The Alpha falls, defeated, and Mara activates the station's overload, ensuring that the enormous weapon is destroyed before it can reach Earth. She escapes with moments to spare, barely surviving the explosion and chaos as the station disintegrates in fire and energy, a testament to human ingenuity and bravery. The destruction of the war station marks a turning point. The Dominion, witnessing that their ultimate weapon has been neutralized by humans, finally begins to retreat, realizing that Earth and humanity cannot be conquered by intimidation or power alone. The galaxy sees that humans are not weak, small, or insignificant. They are clever, resilient, and willing to fight against overwhelming odds with determination and intelligence. Mara's actions become legendary, a story told across human colonies and alien territories alike, demonstrating that courage, strategy, and the will to survive can defy expectations. Humanity earns respect and fear from their enemies, and a lasting legacy is created. The idea that humans may be small in number and physically weaker than many alien species, but they are unstoppable when united, determined, and willing to use their minds as sharply as their fists. The final scenes of Part 3 emphasize both triumph and sacrifice, showing that victory is not without cost, but that the survival and resilience of humanity make every risk worthwhile. Mara Cade's journey from a cadet underestimated by all to a hero capable of defeating the most dangerous Alpha warriors in the galaxy encapsulates the essence of humanity. Fuck yeah, clever, relentless, and unconquerable. Her story leaves an emotional impact that no matter the size, the power, or the arrogance of an enemy, humans can rise to meet the challenge with courage, ingenuity, and an indomitable spirit. The war ends not with the extinction of a species, but with the birth of a legend, where humans are recognized as a force to be reckoned with, and the memory of Mara's kick, the strike that ended the laughter of Alphas, becomes a symbol of human strength across the stars. In the end, the narrative highlights that survival is not just about strength, but about will, intelligence, and the refusal to give up even when the universe seems stacked against you, leaving the reader with a sense of awe and inspiration at what humanity can achieve when its people stand together with courage and purpose.